In the Harry Potter movies, Ron Weasley serves as the audience's personal tour guide through a lot of the wizarding world. He not only teaches us about wizards' chests and the candies on the train, but Ron has such an enthusiasm for life. But as the movies go on and Harry doesn't need his surroundings explained as often, Ron starts to lose his vibrance and a lot of his good qualities. I mean, seriously, it's like they wanted to turn him into a drooling idiot by the time Deathly Hallows came out. Who did Rupert Grint tick off in the writer's room? Hi guys, I'm Megan, and welcome to the Fangirl, where I was asked by the Noble Collection if I wanted to help them celebrate Ron Weasley's birthday. And of course, I was over the moon to get the offer because I'm just starting to find out how awesome Ron Weasley is. So they sent me some Ron collectibles. I'll give you guys a closer look at all of this at the end of the video, and I'm going to go into full fangirl mode and tell you exactly why Ron Weasley is easily the best character in the Sorcerer's Stone. Quick side note, but if you do like talking about Harry Potter, I have another side series where I read and then give my thoughts on every chapter of the book. It's called There I Read It. It's over on the Fanily channel, and I'm currently halfway through the Chamber of Secrets over there. Anyways, back on the train to Ronderland. The entire Weasley family is just absolutely amazing, but Ron in particular has a lot of personality advantages. For starters, there are a bajillion Weasley kids, and Ron's the second to last, so he's very used to being hazed by his older brothers, which gives Ron a temperament to put up with a lot at school. Not that Ron doesn't have things that push his buttons and get him angry, but he's a far cry from Harry, who is just ready to jump in headfirst at every fight. We all need that emotionally stable friend to help keep us grounded, and Ron is very happy to play that part for Harry and kind of fold Harry into his family like he's another one of his brothers. And when you think about it, whereas people like Malfoy just tried to claim Harry as their friend, Ron's approach was extremely different. Ron knew exactly who Harry Potter was, just like every other witch and wizard in the world did, but Ron didn't just rush up on Harry and try to overwhelm him with attention. Basically, Ron treated Harry like a feral cat. Harry wandered into Ron's space, the train compartment, and Ron just kind of sat there and didn't move. He showed Harry that he meant no harm. Ron showed Harry that he was a nice guy and even fed Harry some corned beef. And, you know, once you feed a stray, they're yours forever. So Harry was all but purring in Ron's lap by the time the train got to Hogwarts. And oh my gosh, if there isn't fan art like this already, then what are you guys waiting for? And initially, I was very wary of Ron, and I wondered if he was being calculating because he wanted to be friends with the famous Harry Potter. But then, the more we got of Ron, the more I think he just has a very calming effect on Harry. You know, Ron is from this huge family, so he's very much used to being overlooked, and he even says on the train that his mom always forgets that Ron hates corned beef. And that is no shade towards Molly Weasley because she has 7 kids. As someone who only has 3 kids, let me tell you that my world is constantly in chaos and I can never keep track of anything. But Molly loves her babies and they know that, so she is doing her best and she is a good mama. However, for Ron, growing up in that environment, you either tend to become very loud and flamboyant to sort of demand attention like Fred and George, or you get comfortable being overlooked in the cracks where you don't get noticed unless you're in trouble. And that definitely rings true for Ron in the Sorcerer's Stone. Even Ron's school supplies are lackluster. Everything he owns is a hand-me-down, yet Ron never complains that he has old robes, a secondhand wand, and even a discarded pet that his older brother didn't want anymore. So Ron just doesn't aim to be that nail that sticks up. Ron is more quiet, more reserved, and his attitude towards Harry is more like, I'm here if you're interested, but no pressure. And that was exactly the kind of energy that Harry responded to because he's used to the polar opposites of either you don't exist or you're a total gigantic superstar. Ron has a very quiet shine to him, and he's not really pushy. So that made a nervous and frightened Harry his perfect match. And Ron becomes such a fiercely loyal friend. Both Harry and Ron are are in a very new, scary situation when they first start Hogwarts, so I think that helped them cling to each other. After that bond built up, then even if Ron was absolutely terrified of something, like going down the trapdoor, he still goes because he doesn't want Harry to face anything alone. I mean, think about it. There is no goal that Ron achieves by going after the Sorcerer's Stone. But Harry is his friend who's still not fully versed in wizard culture, so Ron's not gonna abandon him. Ron also has a really high level of empathy for a kid his age. And that, again, is probably because Ron grew up in this gigantic family where there was always going to be somebody having a strong emotion. One of my biggest complaints about Harry in the earlier books is that he's constantly going, oh, well, that's sad for them, but here's why my life is worse. It's not a contest, kid! And not everything is about you, even though you're the title character of the book. But even when Ron does mess up, like insulting Hermione until she cries, Ron instantly feels bad about it. He feels so bad, in fact, that he's willing to risk his own life by facing off with a giant troll, all because Ron knows that his behavior caused Hermione's safety to be affected. And definitely, Ron was a jerk to Hermione, I'm not trying to downplay that at all, but you can tell a lot from a person by how they respond to their mistakes. And I think that being heroic enough to try and save somebody that you've wronged, even when you're terrified, just speaks volumes for Ron's character. Ron's empathetic nature is also reflected when he looks into the, I can never say this right, Mirror of Erecid? I know people will correct me in the comments, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. The mirror shows you your heart's deepest desire, and Ron sees himself as the head boy and the Quidditch team captain while also holding the Quidditch cup. Now, on the surface, that sounds like a kid who's gluttonous for glory, but think about it. Ron is totally used to being overshadowed by all of his brothers and their achievements. He also knows that mom and dad tend to play favorites, so the kid who shines the brightest gets the most funds thrown at them. So Ron's seeing himself with the head boy title that Percy wants and the Quidditch titles that his brothers want allow Ron to be this shining, perfect son that his parents will finally lavish attention on. So his vision in the mirror isn't about selfishness. Ron wants to feel important enough to be somebody's favorite because braggability is actually a currency in the Weasley family. And again, that is not me trying to say anything bad about the Weasley parents because I adore them both. But when you live in this horde of people, it's easy to stop asking for attention from your parents when you figure out there's no way to get it because they're too busy. So I find Ron looking into the mirror of Erised as a very pure moment of a child who's wanting affection. Now, let's talk about Ron below the trapdoor. I love Hermione, but as a fellow neurotic smart girl, I also know what it's like to freeze up and start to melt down when you can't meet your own performance expectations. That's what happened in the book with the Devil's Snare, but book Hermione is allowed to have a human moment that movie Hermione doesn't get. But did book Ron just sit there terrified and waiting to die? No! When Hermione froze up, Ron reminded her what needed to be done. I think that the movie thought that Hermione getting help would weaken her agency as a girl, but I mean, it's okay to be imperfect, especially when you're 11. But yeah, Ron is way more knowledgeable in the books, and the trio would not have succeeded in getting to the Sorcerer's Stone without his various input. Then we get to the room with the giant wizard's chess set. Ron is the only experienced player, and he knows that Harry's mission is important. So once again, Ron is willing to risk his own life to help a friend in need. And this is another scene that the movie really botched because with the way that Ron rode that horse and fell, there was no reason for us to believe that he was mortally wounded because the horse is the one that got obliterated, not him. But Book Ron is a whole different situation. The 3 spaces that the kids took on the board were empty. There was no horse for Ron to get on. And Ron's playing all Queen's Gambit style, really taking care with every move that he makes. Then the book reads, Ron stepped forward and the White Queen pounced. She struck Ron hard around the head with her stone arm and he crashed to the floor. The White Queen dragged Ron to one side. He looked as if he'd been knocked out. So when Harry and Hermione get to the next door, they have to leave Ron behind, not knowing if he's alive or dead. It wasn't just like, oh, I took a tumble. Ron's sacrifice made him a hero that let Harry succeed. It's almost almost strange though, all of the traits that Ron display really seem to line up with the Hufflepuffs. Ron is loyal, friendly, honest, hardworking, and rather impartial, which, yeah, are just traits I took directly off of a Hufflepuff site. So I kind of wonder if Ron didn't end up having his own conversation with the hat in the book, and he asked to be in Gryffindor. As we find out in the second book, Molly and Arthur tell Ginny that they're so proud that she got into Gryffindor, and so did, let's see, Percy, George, and Fred that we know of. So I imagine that Ron went into that sorting ceremony knowing that his parents had a preference and that he wanted to fit in with his family and make his parents proud. And that rings especially true when you think about what Ron saw in the Mirror of Erased, which I know I've said that different every time and none of those ways are probably correct, but I am dyslexic, so I'm doing the best I can. Anyways, I don't think I can gush over Ron enough. And please remember to stay tuned because I'm going to show you guys a close-up of all of these things that I was sent from the Noble collection. I might be overthinking it, but that's literally my job. Thanks for staying with me, guys. Again, this stuff all came from the Noble collection, and I do have a link in the description so that you can find them for yourself. But since you've seen that I've already taken all these things out of the package, I'm not going to do a full unboxing, but I am going to show you everything as up close as I can. So here is the Ron Weasley film artifact box, which I do love this box just all by itself, but pretty much everything in this picture is what's inside. And if you do want to see the full shock and awe unboxing, I do have that video over on the Fanily. And here is a poster of the Chudley Cannons. Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. It's a really neatly detailed poster. It even has the fan club address down here, but it is so curly down there I can't quite show it to you. And up here on the sides of the poster, we have these little like fringy bits that you can fold out. It's really interesting. I have never seen another poster that wasn't a total square. Then we have these Quidditch betting tickets that say Weasley Weasley on them, and on the back they're even very detailed. And it's a really thin paper because you would probably use something like this once in a real bet and then throw it away, so I like that it's kind of authentic in that regard. And this is really cool. At first I thought that this was Ron's letter to Hogwarts, but then it's actually addressed to Ronald Weasley at Hogwarts School. And it is, I almost wish it had like an origami thing to fold up, but it is Ron Weasley's Howler from Molly. And the thing I love the most is how angry and jagged the text to Ron looks. And then we have the softer, rounder, gentler text to Ginny. Then there's the 42nd Quidditch World Cup map of campsite. And this is really interesting, but I've had trouble trying to show it when I was filming before because it is. Maybe with two hands I can do this better. Let's find out. Yeah, it's a really interesting detailed map, and I'm pretty sure that this is from the fourth book, but I have not gotten there yet. I'm still in the third book. So I think it's going to be really interesting when I get to that point. I'm going to have this map for reference, and I think I'm really going to need it. Then we have the description of Albus Dumbledore on the Albus Dumbledore card from the Chocolate Frog boxes. A Gryffindor patch, and it is a sew-on patch. I believe it's the same type that they put on their robes in the movie, but it is fully embroidered, so I think it's really nice. And then this, I am honestly not really clear what this is supposed to be. It's just like a laminated cardboard piece here, and it's the logo of the Weasley Screaming Yo-Yo. And I remember the product, I don't know what this is for because it doesn't seem to come apart. I thought maybe it was a sticker or a punch-out standee, but there is no perforation and it doesn't seem to come apart anywhere around it. So it is just an image, I guess. So let's see, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, all the tickets is 1, 5, 6, and 7 items in the artifact box. And the inside of the box itself is the Marauders map, so I think it looks really well detailed. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have most of these bits in different places soon enough, so I'm definitely going to be reusing this box for something, because this is a really nice keepsake box. Okay, next thing, definitely my favorite thing that they sent me is Ron's Sweetheart necklace, which came from Lavender Brown. That is not something I knew off the top of my head. That was something I had to go look up and check because I couldn't even remember Lavender Brown being in the movies, honestly. But you guys saw me wearing this throughout the entire video just now, so you have a good idea of what the chain length looks like. And it is a really nice thick chain, but the necklace itself is sterling silver in 24 karat plated gold. I believe that's right, but you can check the Noble Collection website to make sure. But I truly, madly, deeply love this necklace. I cannot stop fixating on it. And I think what I love most about it is not only is it really super cute and whimsical, but it's not the typical kind of thing that you would see in Harry Potter jewelry that you would just instantly recognize as being from the series, like Hedwig or the lightning bolt. So for somebody to see this and know where it's from, you know that they're like a serious no-joke fan. Oh yes, and it also has this little cardboard card in the box that is basically like a certificate of authenticity. So you know that this was authorized through Warner Brothers and it was actually made based on something from the film. It wasn't just like, hey, let's make something and sell it on Etsy. Which, no shade to the Etsy workers, but I do appreciate when there's something quality that is authentically put out by the companies. And now we have Ron's wand in the Ollivander's box. So I think the packaging on this is really interesting because we have that red ribbon around the box. We have another one of those "this is an authentic product" cards. And then we have this very sheer fabric that just folds away on both sides and we can get to the wand. Now, I do believe this wand is life size and it's really neatly detailed because we have all these different like flat spots. There's different notches and puckers in the wood and it's just really interesting and not to mention heavy. I've done a lot of unboxings for the mystery wands that you find at Walmart and they are really kind of a hollow plastic. There's not a whole lot of weight to them. But you know, let me pull out a scale and find out how much this actually weighs. I think that says 2.5 pounds. Oh, no, sorry. I think that's 2.5 ounces. Yeah, pounds would have probably been ridiculous. So yeah, there's just a really good weight to this wand. And I swear it feels even heavier than that. So that's all the items. I guess that's all I can show you then. I want to make sure I say thank you again to the Noble Collection for choosing me to help them celebrate Ron Weasley's birthday. And if you didn't know, his official birthday is March 1st, 1980. So he should be 41 right now. They are actually older than me. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for checking this stuff out. Again, in the description, I have a link that will take you straight to the Noble Collection's Harry Potter section. And super duper again, if you have to only pick one thing, this necklace is by far my favorite. But thanks guys, and we'll see you next time, family members. Bye! In the Harry Potter movies, Ron Weasley serves as our personal tour guide through a lot of the wizarding. He not only teaches us about He not only teaches us about Wizard's chest. Bum, bum, da, da, bum, 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 ba, da. But Ron in particular has a lot of personality advantages. You know, there are days where I sit here and record 5 videos at once. That's 5 straight hours of filming usually. It's not a competition, kid. It's not a contest, kid. It's not a contest. Kid, this is not a contest. It's not a contest, kid. Bum, 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 ba, da, bum, bum. When you're feeling sad and low, we will take you where you gotta go. Smiling, dancing, everything's free. All you need is positivity. Well, family members, we're almost done, but I want to invite you to hang out with me in some other places. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as my own personal self, and I have a Facebook page too, but I mostly just post photos over there. And sometimes people say, hey McGann, I want to mail you something. How do I do that? Easy. Just click the About tab on my channel page, and my most current P.O. Box info will be right there. I also run another channel, The Fanily. It's really a hodgepodge channel where we might post anything. Oh yeah, and I also sell shirts and stickers and stuff with the Fanily and the Fangirl logos. If that is your cup of tea, I have a link in every description of every video. Finally, if you want to help out the Fangirl channel and make sure I'm putting out video essays for years to come, the best way you can help is by subscribing and watching more of my videos, whether they're new, old, whatever. Maybe even share 1 or 2 on social media, help spread the word. episode. People who watch to the end of videos like you helps to tell the site, hey, this is a good video, we should recommend it to other people. So if you made it this far, leave me a comment of something like, hey, I made it to the end. Love ya. See you next time, family members. Bye.